Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. Let's see if I can find myself. It takes just a second for it to pop up. There we are. There we are. Oh, maybe. I don't think I'm moving. There we go. Goodness gracious, there really was a delay today. All right, hello. If you are coming in, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment to let me know that you're here. And we are gonna dive right on in because I have just a couple things that I want to talk about before we start crafting. And we do have 3 projects tonight. So, and 2 are kind of fun folds, holder kind of thing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is don't forget about the August Simply Create. It is using the Fun for Fall bundle, which I love. And then with it, you get a bolt of ribbon. You get a full pack of the shimmery dots. And then you get a half a pack of the Gingham Gallery paper, and you get a half a pack of the Valley in Bloom paper. You will make 5 projects. Here is the first card, second, third, and fourth. And then there is a little 3D holder that you can put anything kind of in. You could put candy, you could put candy apple. There's all kinds of things you can put in here. So, so this is that, and it is $50, and there are descriptions, there are links. Sorry, I just got a text message and it threw me off. There are links in the description of this video that you can pull to either register or subscribe for that. But either way is $50. You just make a choice if you want to do 1 month or if you want to subscribe, where it just automatically charges you every single month. If you do the subscription part, you actually will get, after 6 months, a little goodie bag from me that is worth $25. So that is always a huge plus. The other thing I wanted to show you really quick is we have a new catalog that is coming out next month. If you would like a catalog, please let me know. I have more that are actually being delivered, not tomorrow, but the next day. It is our, what I call our holiday catalog, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful and I love it. There is so much in it that I would like it all, but of course I won't be able to create with it all. So it has been hard to choose what to do, but with a new catalog, and there are new online exclusives. With that, there of course will be a paper share. So I've started kind of cutting some of the paper up just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I package mine in cellophane bags that are resealable, and then I create a label, and I put the label on the outside of the cellophane bag so that you know exactly what it is, as well as it has the colors. You can see it has the colors on there, and then it tells you what it is, what the cost is, and you have the item number. And then it just tells you that it's the September release. So anyway, so each bag will have that label on there so that you know exactly what it is. The paper share is $85, and this will be, the emails should be coming out later this week. So just be on the lookout if you're interested in that, because I know there's several people who have asked me about it. So, so that is that. And now we are ready to start creating. So let's move down to the table because we are going to create with the Heirloom Boutique, which is actually on the last chance. And it makes me sad because I barely have used this. So we're going to use it tonight. All right. I'm going to move us down and around. Just takes me a minute to do a little shake in there. And let me make sure that I've got it now down on the table. There we go. And I'm just gonna make sure that it's in close enough. Hello, Sharon. I see you popping up. Oh, there we go. Let me put this here so I can see if I need to zoom out just a little bit more. It takes it, oh no, there I went again. There we go. Okay, I think I got it this time. Yay! All right, so let's start creating. I'm gonna put this up so we have our light up there. And the first thing we're gonna do is a card. We have in our team, in our Stampin' Divas team, we do lots of challenges, fun posts that kind of get you stamping every month. And one of them is a color challenge. And for July, our color challenge was crumb cake, pumpkin pie, daffodil delight, and misty moonlight. So I created this card specifically for that. Sometimes it makes it easier if I create for the lives what those challenges are, because then it means I actually get them done. Like one of the cards tonight is the swap, but I haven't finished putting them all together. So I'm sometimes I get really behind. So anyway, we are going to pull out all of our fun products for this one, and just want to make sure I've got everything set up. We're going to pull out our packet, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with just folding our card base in half. And I just want to say, before we get to crafting, for those of you who've never seen one of these before, I didn't know they existed until today. So I am very sensitive to bug bites. I got bit because we had a lot of people coming in and out today. And we had a whole bunch of mosquitoes and gnats and whatever else get into our front office. And so anyway, I got bit on my hand. It was like double the size right there. And I got bit on my face too. The face didn't do what my finger did. Anyway, these are bug bite patches. Have you ever heard of those before? Y'all, it was a miracle worker. It literally stopped like the sting in the finger, and there's been no itching in it. So anyway, that's what my avocado is. It's really weird looking, but it's a genius product. Genius product. I was very impressed. The nurse fixed me right up. And all I did was just go in to see if she had any like itch cream. So I thought they were actually pretty cute. All right, my live for some reason is being kind of special here. I don't know what it's doing. There we go. Now I think, okay, now I think I'm there. Okay, let's start out first. We're gonna do a little bit of background stamping here. We're gonna use Versamark because I don't want it to be too dark. And I did this trick not too long ago with my in-person class, and I actually love doing this. I do it not as often as I probably should, but we're just gonna stamp it and give it a little bit of a background in our corners. Let's just kind of do there. All right, then we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna stamp down here and there, and I guess I need to probably do some this way, huh? There we go. And I think I might do one more just kind of here. Okay, so there we go. Now we're gonna kind of set that aside because Versamark does take a little bit just to dry completely. So we're gonna set this aside after we put in our insert. I like to do that because I always forget at the end. I'm really good about forgetting that. And then I have to go, oh, sorry, not last step. All right. We'll stick this in here like that. And then we'll set that aside. Okay, now we're gonna take our little white piece here, and there is a blog post. It has all the measurements for you, so make sure you go check that out, as well as a link for all the products used, so you can do that as well. We're gonna stamp our sentiment first, because that's the most important. And we're gonna ink it up with some Misty Moonlight. We're gonna come down here and then stamp it right here in the corner. Okay. Then we are gonna take our large flower stamp. We're gonna take some basic black ink, which was in my other bucket, and we're gonna ink it up. And then we're gonna stamp it right here, right there. Then we're gonna ink it up again. And we're gonna stamp it like this. And of course, it's not gonna be the same from every card. It'll be a little different every time. That's the fun thing about crafting. All right, and then we're gonna come here and do right about there, okay? All right, now comes the fun part in coloring. So I'm gonna move this out the way now. All right, we're gonna start with some Misty Moonlight, and I am just using the light. And we're just gonna pick a whole bunch of the flowers and color them in. Just like this. And this will take me just a minute. But I wanted you to see that even though we're stamping it a whole bunch, it really, it does take time to color, but it's not going to take too horribly long. Even if you move just a little slower than I do, it won't take you long. But this is a good set for the frou-frou and the frills, for sure. And these colors, funny enough, remind me of kind of like the 70s. A little bit of retro coloring. All right, let's do this one. And then let's go up in our corner one and grab a couple of these. And I'm seriously just coloring. Like, I'm not worrying about how many or anything like that. We're just coloring to color. All right, so now we got that one. So now we're gonna do the Daffodil Delight, and we're gonna do the dark Daffodil Delight for this one. We're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna color a whole bunch of them. We'll keep going. And let's do the big one. And make sure I'm in the picture there. All right, so while I color, tell me in the comments, are you a person who likes to color? Do you like to use our Stampin' blends, or, you know, there's also pencils, you could do regular markers. There's all kind of products out there that you can color with. I definitely am a huge Stampin' blends girl. I like the smooth, hello Angie, I didn't see, it's just now shooting up comments from all y'all. We're gonna do the pumpkin pie, and we're gonna do it in the dark one too. I love to color. Especially with our blends, and I know that sounds weird, but these are just easy. It's 2 colors. You can shade if you want. You don't have to. It still looks fine, and it's pretty smooth, which always helps me because I like to color fast and get it done. And so it being a smooth marker really does help because it's alcohol, so it does have that smooth outpour of ink. I do use my Stampin' blends a lot. I have to replace them quite a bit. And I never thought I would be a colorer again, but I am. Debbie, you love to color? Yeah, I know you love to color for sure. You are also a very good painter, which is a lot of different colors. So, all right, so now we've got all of the flowers done. So now we're gonna take the old olive and we're gonna do the light, and we're just gonna go around and pick a bunch of the leaves and color them. And these do, again, you're just randomly picking some. It's not gonna be every single one. You just want to pick a couple. And let's do this one. And that'll be, oh, let's just do this one. Okay, then we're going to go to our dark one. And Angie, you like the watercolor pencils? So I think I used to. And you know, you're right. I wish they would make them in every color. Maybe I would use them more if they were in every color. Because I do like the watercolor. It took me a long time to really learn how to use them, but then once I did, it was pretty good. I also liked our markers, but sadly we don't have those anymore, but that's okay. I definitely do use the blends way more than I use the markers. And you know, our markers, you can do the flicking with that too, which is what I loved doing with our markers. Or the blends, you can do that too. So, all right, so I'm just taking the dark and coloring in all the other little leaves. And then ta-da, we have our piece here. Now we've got our centers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our dark Daffodil Delight and I'm gonna randomly pick some, not the Daffodil Delight ones, but our Pumpkin Pie and Misty Moonlight. And we're gonna do some of them with the daffodil in the center. Then we are gonna take Crumb Cake, the dark Crumb Cake, and we are gonna color in the center. I might have done the light. It does look like I did the light. So what we'll do is do a couple of those in the dark, since I already did it. And then we'll go back and do the light as well. And I really do feel like this is kind of some 70s colors going on. And then there we go. We are all colored. Now we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna add, and I think this looks really cool on the back too. Normally I don't care too much about the back, but with this flower, it looks really good. And then we're gonna adhere it down to our pumpkin pie. And it's just gonna be right on the inside of our die cut, like that. Okay, now let's grab our linen thread and we're gonna wrap it around several times. I felt like it needed a ribbon of some sort, but it didn't need anything big. Just needed a little bit more dainty. So, dainty and a large actual bow part with the linen thread still makes it nice and kind of subtle. And it's gonna mess with me tonight, isn't it? Okay, we'll fix that later. I got a little too much, but it'll be all right. And then we're gonna cut the tails off. Maybe if I can get them. Oop. I have lots of junk phone calls. All right, let's trim this a little bit more. There we go. Okay, then we're gonna take our piece here, we're gonna flip it over, we're gonna add a bunch of dimensionals to the back. And we'll put these on. Ta-da! And then we'll stick it on the front right here. And it doesn't have to be centered since you're kind of butting it up to the ribbon there. So it can be further to your left. You just kind of want to put it center from top to bottom, as close as you can get. And then we're going to take our embellishments, and these are iridescent pearls, which I love these, and I need to use them more often for sure. All right, let's see. So now we're gonna take a large one here, and we're gonna stick it right about there. And then we're gonna do another one there. We'll do a little baby one here. And then we're gonna stick just randomly around. How about there? Okay, so then there is our first card. And I actually loved these colors together. I was a little worried about it. But I enjoy playing around with colors, so I thought it worked out really well. So, all right, we'll put that aside. Let me put all my stamps away over here. Okay, our next one we're gonna do is a little fun fold. And I haven't done one of these in a really long time, but we're gonna do some scoring too. And I just wanna pull out all of our stuff. We're gonna do a little bit of coloring on this one too. And we'll stick that in the chair. Okay. So this one here, thank you, Angie. This one pulls out like this. And it's open on the sides, so it's actually really easy to put together. The only thing is, you know, it can be a challenge sometimes to slide it in and out, but you can straighten it up really quick. So, all right, let's do our pieces. I'm gonna move all that. We're gonna do this piece first, so we can go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna grab the bubble bath, and I'm gonna stamp just right up here at the top. Oop. And we're just gonna kind of do a fun array of flowers there. All right, and then that's gonna be our insert piece, so we'll set that aside for just a moment. Then we are gonna grab you see I put my measurements there so I wouldn't forget them. We're gonna grab our scoreboard, and on the long side, so this is our long side down to 11, we are gonna score at 1 1/4. Make sure I'm in there. So we're gonna score at 1 1/4. And then we're gonna score at 5 1/2. And 5 1/2 is the, oh, Sharon, you've never tried the watercolors. Well, we might need to try those one day soon. We certainly should. The 5 1/2 mark is the normal halfway for a card base. So that is nothing different than what you normally do. The only thing different for the normal card base is that you're scoring at that 1 1/4. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and fold it up. We're gonna give it a good burnish. And then we're gonna fold this piece down like that. Then you're gonna have 2 pieces of designer series paper that you wanna cut. And again, you can pull the measurements right off of the blog, but this is a 4x4 piece and this is a 4x1. So that one's pretty easy to remember, which is why I told you. Usually I can't remember what the measurements are. I can't remember all that. And then we're gonna stick this here. So give it a nice little border. And then what I am gonna do is I'm gonna actually take this, put a little adhesive on the back and fold it down. And if you wanted to cut this shorter, you certainly could if you didn't want to waste any paper. Paper sometimes is a commodity. I love paper. Pretty paper is my favorite. All right, and then we're gonna take it and line it up there. So I just wanna make sure I get it as even with these edges as I can. Then we are gonna take, and I'm just gonna kind of just give this a little bit of a curve to it, and it's only because it'll be a little easier to slide your piece in and out, but you don't have to do that. Just don't tie your bow too tight. And then we are gonna take our little ribbon and we're gonna wrap it around just like this. And I'm gonna tie it up here. And I'm gonna give it like it's gonna be kind of a good big bow. Because I want it to kind of stick out from either side of the flowers that we do. Okay, that didn't work. We're gonna get a glue dot. I struggle with this ribbon. I don't know why I do, but I do. All right, so we're gonna stick that right there. And we're gonna tie the bow right here. There we go. I think I might think about this one too long. That might be my problem. There we go. All right. Then we're gonna trim off our edges. And I am gonna give it a little bit of space just in case we need to make it larger or anything else like that. But there we go. Let me put this pin back in so I don't stab myself in a minute. Okay. All right, then you can go ahead and slide in your little piece of paper here. Ta-da! Then we're gonna set that aside. We're gonna set that aside. We're gonna stamp our sentiment using Lost Lagoon. And the sentiment is from Faith Collection. This card is my team swap for the month of, I guess it's technically August because we're meeting in August. But we meet kind of mid-month, and so anyway. So this is the team swap, and the theme was thinking of you. So the only thinking of you that I had was from the Faith Collection. So that's where I pulled it from. So we're gonna ink that with some Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to stamp it a little further to the left, and I'll show you why in a little while. But that did not look so good. So we're going to flip it over. I know that's kind of the wrong side, but we're going to go with it. Nobody will ever know, right? I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Okay. Then on our other piece, we are going to stamp this large flower right there twice using black. You can use the hybrid or the memento. I am a memento girl, so I'm not a huge fan of our hybrid. So I will stick with my memento. Okay, now we're going to color, and we are going to color our leaves with Lost Lagoon, because that's the color that's in the paper. So that's what we're going with. And we're just gonna do, oops, we're gonna do the light. And just color them really quick. These are not hard to color either. And then one more. And then if you want to do some shading, you can go back and you can take the dark and you can just kind of, you know, do a little shading. It's not, I don't think it's totally necessary, but you know, some people like it, so I figured we'd do it. Then we'll do the bottoms. There we go. All right, now let's color one Darling Duckling. So we'll start with the light. This is a little bigger of a space, so if you wanted to do the brush tip, you could certainly do that. I probably should use the brush tip. It would make it go a little faster, but when I go fast, I'm not great at the lines, so I think I should probably stick to this smaller tip. All right, so there we go. And then you can add in your dark. Just a little bit, there we go. And then we're gonna go and do our light bubble bath. You know what, let's just try it. Let's see if I can stay in the lines. The next one we do not color, and I'm gonna show you why, because I think the dyes are awesome in this set. All right, so then we're gonna take the dark and go in like that. All right, then I'm gonna take the light Lost Lagoon. We're gonna cover these up, but I'm just gonna go ahead anyway and color it in. Like that. Now, we're gonna cut this out, and we're gonna cut out a little piece of Misty Moonlight, because these are going to be our center. Okay, so I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine. Let's see if I can get it in here. And ta-da, there we go. Okay. We are going to pull out our plate. We're going to take our lovely little dies here. We're going to take this and we're going to line it up here. Like that. Then I'm going to stick okay, I lost my words there. Let's start that over. I am going to put the little circles onto the Misty Moonlight so we can cut those out. Then we're going to run it through. And then we're going to grab and put this here. Like this. And ta-da! So we'll take these off because we don't need to run that through again. Then we'll run this piece through. And then we have our pieces. So now we can start putting everything together. All right, let's see. I might have to poke it out. All right, so I'm going to poke out that little one there. And then we've got that. we've got that one and that one. All right, so let me put these back over there. So we're gonna pull back in our piece here. We're gonna flip this over, put dimensionals on the back. One, two, three, and four. And we're gonna kind of lay this over our piece right there. And then I'm gonna kind of trim, I'm gonna trim those off just a little bit. I don't think it needs to be too long. There we go. And there we go. Okay, I think that's good. Now we're gonna put dimensionals on the back of these. We'll put 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. We'll put our Daffodil Delight one right about here. We'll put our Bubble Bath one. We'll put it right about here, like that. Then we're gonna take glue dots and put on our little centers. So right there. And right there, like that. Then we're gonna take our sentiment, we're gonna put, that's gonna slide in. You see, you don't want it to hang off, so what we're gonna do is just trim it, like that. We're gonna put a little bit of adhesive on this end. Then we're going to put a dimensional on this end, and we're gonna stick it in like that. Ta-da. Now, last but not least, we're gonna add some jewels to it. These are our rhinestones that have been around since, I think the beginning of time with Stampin' Up. And that is okay, because you know it's a constant, just like linen thread. So we're gonna put one there. We'll put one here. Oh, that kind of landed on a flower. So we'll put this one right about there. Okay, so then there is project number 2. And I like this one. I feel like this one is a fun one. Just kind of fun. Okay. Now, last but not least, the last one is a, hold on, I gotta find my bucket. There it is. This one is a holder for a 4x4 Post-it note. And I will show you, let me see if I can find it real quick. I went to one of my downlines classes and her name is Gretchen, and she did these little notepad holders. This was one of our projects for the July class, and I loved it. I thought it was so cute. So I like really big Post-its. I like the big ones. So I decided to make one that holds the 4x4. So this is what we're gonna make. There is no coloring in this one because the dies have these detailed images that literally help you put the flower together. And then it has the leaves there too. So I've already die cut everything. It's just a matter of putting it together. So let's do it. We are gonna start by first scoring our, oh, and for the sentiment, the Brighten My Day, it came from the Botanical Expressions, which is a newer stamp set. It came out in the online exclusives in July, I think. So let's grab our scoreboard. And you're only gonna, again, for this one, you're only gonna score on the long side. You don't have to score any other way. So we are gonna score at 4 1/8, which is the first tick after the 4. and then 4 3/8, which is the tick right before your half mark. This is only on your scoreboard, okay? It's different on your trimmer because the trimmer has more dashes in between each number. And then we're gonna score at 8 1/2 and 8 3/4, okay? And then, oh, let me put this back over here. Then we are going to fold on all of our score lines. You want to make sure that it's even on both sides. You can open that one up. And then you're going to do this side. And just make sure it's even on all sides. Ta-da. Okay. So now, and what that is going to do is just kind of create a box, like a flat top and bottom for you. Then we are going to take and adhere our little notepad. And we're going to do blue. I picked the blueberry bushel because of the blue on the pad. So we're going to just take the back of it here. We're going to put adhesive on it. You could, if you wanted, you could just take off your back piece if you wanted to just use that top part as your adhesive, but I like it to kind of be a little bit more secure. Then you're going to line it up. And let's just make sure we've got it even pretty much on both sides. And then it's going to go down. Ta-da. Okay, so now there is your holder. Okay, let's open it back up. We are going to put on our designer series paper. So we're going to put one piece on the front. We're going to put this one here with a cute little border around it, like that. You're going to open it up, put another piece on the inside. And then we'll put that right there. Okay, and then we've got 2 pieces of larger designer series paper. So this is going to go on our, I need to get closer to the edge there. Not that close, but. Okay, this one is going to go on the inside here. Like that. And then this one is going to go on the outside here. These would be great for if you like to go, yes. There is not, Angie, there's not a die set that goes with the begonia bell because it was the product of the month. So none, I don't know if they'll do dies with the product of the month or not. I'm not sure. But so far they have not. So, but yes, this would make a really cute teacher gift. You could even put like a little piece of cardstock right here and put a little gift card in it for them, which would make it really cute too. And then if you do craft fairs at all, these would be really cute things to do for craft fairs. Again, kind of directed toward teachers, to kind of add that gift card in there. So, all right, let's do this. So I'm a magnet girl. You could do Velcro, like the sample that I have. When I went to the class, we did Velcro, which is totally fine. You can do magnets, which is what I like to do. These are not really strong magnets, so it wouldn't be horrible for people who have like a pacemaker and stuff. These are probably less secure than as magnets than the platforms, the stamping platforms that we have, and those magnets don't hurt people with pacemakers either. So from what I've understood, my mother has a pacemaker, so I'm always pretty careful about it, things like that. And as long as they're not putting it up to their heart as well, that helps too. So, all right, so I'm gonna take and put this magnet right here, kind of in the center, like that. Then I'm gonna take and put another glue dot on the back of that one, like that. Then we're gonna fold it over and we're gonna press down. And then ta-da! So those glue dots will hold them down, and again, they're not like horribly strong, so it's not gonna pull it off the paper. Now I have gotten some in the past that are really strong, and those probably would not work well with somebody who has a pacemaker, but these are very minute. So, all right, so let's decorate. Now, it's gonna be a little different than this one because I just cut out a whole bunch of them. So our colors are going to be just a little different. It'll be the same color, just a larger one. This one's going to be a larger one instead. So, and I'm just going to take, because it's a 3D project, we're going to give it some 3D. Okay, that's going to be our inside piece. And this will be our outside. So let's just use our bone folder and give our edges a little bit. Now we're gonna use some dimensionals because we want it to have dimension. Okay, so I'm gonna put 2 dimensionals. And then we're gonna pop this in the center. Like that. We're gonna flip that over. We're gonna add 2 more dimensionals. And then we're gonna kind of sit it like this, okay? Just like that. Then we're gonna do the blueberry bushel one. Okay, and then we're gonna do this one. This one we're gonna put 1 dimensional on, right there. We're gonna set this one right here, like that. On the back of this, we'll put the 2 dimensionals. And we're gonna slide this one kind of up like this. So we're gonna tuck it in and then up, okay? Next, let's do this one down at the bottom. And this is Darling Duckling. So all I did was pull out some of the colors from there. And again, we're gonna give it nice little there. And then we're gonna put a dimensional on the back. 1 for that one. And then we'll stick it here. And then we'll put 2 on the back. And we're gonna stick this kind of over here, like that. Let's take and stamp our sentiment really quick. We're gonna do You Brighten My Day. And we're gonna put this further to the right so that we can tuck in. And we're gonna literally put a dimensional all the way across. You can trim off a little bit of this one as well, like we did on the last one. And then we'll put it, we're gonna tuck this right up under here. Actually, we're gonna tuck it right here. Like that. All right, now let's take and add our little center pieces. So we're gonna grab our glue dots. We're gonna put a white one on our yellow. We're gonna do Darling Duckling on the hydrangea hue. And then on our blueberry bushel, we'll put a white, okay? Then we're gonna take some leaves and we're gonna literally just put a little bit of adhesive on the back of them. And we're gonna start sliding it in. So we're gonna do this one like that. And it's okay if it hangs off a little bit. I'm okay with that. Just make sure you don't put adhesive because you don't want it to get stuck to anything. So let's see, we're gonna do this one up here. And this one will stick in like this. Then we're gonna put this one here, like that. And then this one, oops, this one tucked in like that. Okay. Now let's add our embellishments. Let's go ahead and add that. Actually, let's do our ribbon first. Let's do our ribbon. This is new ribbon that is coming out in that September to December holiday catalog. It's not all holiday, but it's just what I've always called it. And I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, so then we're gonna take and add a glue dot to it, and we will attach it right here at the bottom, just there. Then I'm gonna try to find my embellishments really quick. I don't know what I did with them. Oh, they're right here. Just kidding. We're going to take our white, well, I did Old Olive for the sample, so let's just do the Old Olive one. That'll be fine. We could also do the white ones, but I think we'll do the Old Olive ones. So we're gonna put one here and here, and we'll put one right there. Let's actually move that one. Let's move this one over here. Oops. We'll put it there. Then we're gonna add one to our leaf right there. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's just do one more. So we're gonna add it to this leaf right there. Okay, there we go. Now, last but not least, let's add to our inside because we gotta make it pretty too. So we're gonna take, now you don't wanna do your bone folder with this one because it's gonna be on the inside. And I did do it flat because you don't want it to cause like a big bulk for your inside part. So we're gonna take and add adhesive to this, and we're gonna just stick it there in the center like that. We'll take a glue dot and add our centerpiece. We'll flip this over, and I am out. Let's see if I have another one over here. Right here. All right, so we've got that. Then we're gonna go ahead and attach our leaves where we want them. I think that'll work. We'll flip it over, add some adhesive to the leaves, and then we're gonna stick this right here. And then ta-da! there is our Post-it holder. So I love this. I fell in love with it. So I am super excited. I've got a whole bunch of colors of some Post-it notes, and I'm going to try to do them for a event that I have coming up, just to kind of see how they do, because I think they are the cutest little things. I would love to have one personally. So, so that is our last project. Let me pull back in our other projects from tonight. Here they are. And I'll have one more that I will post later this week. It'll have, it'll just be a reel like I've been doing. So I'll get that posted probably Thursday. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. I don't know what's going on with Facebook because it's not showing me anything on my side. So if I missed any comments, I'm sorry. I will try to go back and check on that. And then again, make sure you go check out the blog post that will have all of the measurements and all the products that are used so that you can recreate these for yourself. And I will see you next time.